So we're back in the dev server, but this time I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into the French Jaguar and what you should be expecting with this vehicle once it drops in the next major update. However, I will say this, the vehicle is not complete. There are things in it that are possibly missing. However, given what it has right now, it looks to be fairly complete, though I'm pretty sure it is missing quite a bit. I'll get more into that a little bit later in this segment. But as always, disclaimer, this is the dev server. Everything is subject to change. If there is something in here that you just don't like and you want Gaijin to possibly fix, go over to the forums, let them know about it, provide to them relevant information that is not classified, and balance out this vehicle for when it comes in the next major update, because I can tell you right now, this thing is going to be a ton of fun from what I've been seeing in my own personal gameplay. You'll be seeing that a little bit later in this video as well. Now, first things first, where does this vehicle sit? Well, that's the biggest question I got in my previous video. It sits after the Mephisto. And seeing that this is an end-of-the-line vehicle, it is going to be expensive and it is going to be difficult to spade. But here's the thing about this vehicle, you don't really have to focus too hard on spading this, simply because it gets the APFSDS as a stock round, which makes this a viable vehicle. Granted, you don't have a laser rangefinder at the start. You have to kind of work on that, of course. Actually, where is it? Oh, it's combined with the laser warning system, of course. Forgot it has that too, which is a tier 1 modification. So ideally, I would say, instead of going for parts in FPE, run to the laser warning laser rangefinder, and then everything else will kind of fall into place. Work on that thermal sight next, and then work on parts in FPE. I would avoid the slat armor personally. It might help you. I don't really see a use for it, so I would rather maximize my speed by removing said slat armor, which makes this a very pretty looking vehicle. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to be keeping this on. But going back into the modules, you'll see right here that we have more shells to play with. We also have the ahead round, which is very nice. Now, the optical lock will auto set your sights, or your shell for that matter, and this is very effective against low-flying helicopters and aircraft. You'll see in the gameplay bit in the test drive shortly. We do have a standard time fuse fragmentation round, which is not going to be your go-to, I think, for the majority of cases, but you're welcome to bring this, of course. But you know what? It really comes down to what you want. I personally like this over the ahead, but it's more of a case-by-case thing. And then you have the standard fragmentation, which is going to be used against other light tanks. I would probably carry a few of these just to use against anti-air systems, which, trust me, is going to tear you a brand new one. We'll get into the armor in a quick second. And you do get access to the Acheron MP, which is basically a spike missile, I would say. I know it's not, of course. My French purists out there are going to get mad at me for saying that. 1,000 millimeters of penetration chemical, 260 meters a second, which isn't terrible. 20-kilometer lock range, which is fun. I mean, this is pretty much a spike, but here's the thing I don't like about this vehicle that already annoys the hell out of me is the fact that you only get up to 2 of them. That's it. You don't get any more inside the vehicle itself. I was told, I haven't read into it myself, however, but I was told that you can carry, well, that's an interesting place to store the ammo, to be honest. Kind of dangerous too. It should be able to carry 2 more in the lower hull right here. Is that going to happen? I doubt it, but you would think that Gaijin would have kind of learned from the previous vehicles, the KF-41, etc., where carrying only 2 missiles is just not ideal, because these missiles, in my opinion, are insanely unreliable. I mean, I do not trust spikes in the slightest, not even against helicopters anymore because of DIRCM. I'm sure that's going to change. But then again, if you look at the Freccia, it has like, what, 10 spikes? And that thing is insane at 10.7. Looking at the armor layout of this, it has small liner all over the place. Aluminum alloy right here. That's interesting, actually. Blow-up panels, perhaps for the front? Imagine just flames coming out the front of this vehicle. That's going to be pretty funny, actually. But yeah, you get spall liner all over the place. I don't think it's going to help you out too much. You're encapsulated, actually. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, and then of course you have all the slat armor everywhere, but when it comes to its base armor for that matter, I don't think it's complete yet, because it's just, let's do this, structural steel, aluminum. Ooh, you know, I'm getting a weird feeling that 50 cal is gonna be able to kill this thing pretty easily. In fact, let's go ahead and test that out. How I do it is I go to the Americans, I go to rank 2, I believe it is, and then I bring out M16 GMC and I use the AP. I'm sure you can make that easier with other vehicles, but I just do it like this for fun. And it doesn't look like AP can actually go through the side just yet. Again, the vehicle is not complete, so autocannon fire is probably gonna tear you a brand spanking new one. And seeing that you are sitting in a basket, you can well imagine any shot to the center of this vehicle from autocannon or anything for that matter is going to go through and break this pretty damn quick. But you do have modules everywhere. Electronics, optics aren't done yet, obviously. Vertical targeting, let's take a look at that really quick. 48 horizontal, 24 non-expert crew, 28 A's, 57 A's as well. Plus 60 degrees, minus 10, which for a tall vehicle like this isn't too much, unfortunately. But of course, you do have a top-mounted system here, like a crow's. That's pretty interesting, actually. My God, this thing, it looks like a high-tech monstrosity, man. Look at all this stuff that could break. Gosh. So the name of the game of this is Do Not Get Shot At. Oh, and one more thing while we are, since we're here, and I completely forgot about this, the penetration values of this, 158 millimeters at 100 meters, 160 at 10 at 0 degrees, and then, you know, drop off at distance and other 30-60, which is not terrible, to be honest. This value is going to be really good against pretty much everything in the upper BRs, including the upper front plates or driver's ports of Russian-style tanks. So that's going to be interesting. Now let's go over into the test drive and play with the proxy and the ahead rounds, or timed fuse, excuse me. Now, unfortunately, you can only carry 2 belts. It's either going to be your dart as a start, which would be the go-to, I think, and then you can carry a secondary being whatever fragmentation round you want to carry, right? So when it comes to, you know what, I'll save the APFSDS for the longer bit of this video. Let's play around with the head rounds just for a little bit. Let's try this. As you can see, it's auto-setting the fuse, and we'll do this in third person for right now. Let's try this. There we go. Ahead is pretty good. It's a little iffy on the 30 millimeters, but on a 40, it actually seems like it might be a lot better. Sorry, just the camera angle's a little weird. Helicopters. Let's see what that does. Looking good. All right, 40 millimeter head round is not terrible in the slightest. Let's look for something a little bit at a distance. Is that aircraft still up? It doesn't really look like it. I'm very curious, actually, to see how it fares against a vehicle like that. Okay, maybe maybe using it against anti-air is not gonna be ideal. I mean, you're shotgunning these tanks basically. Here, let me go ahead and just fuse this at a longer distance, and then we'll range it here. There we go. Yeah, that's gonna be very impractical. I wouldn't recommend you do something like that, so there's that. However, let's go play around with the other fragmentation round to see how it plays. Actually, hold up. Here's this guy right here. I want to hit him. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Little slow. Yeah, I would not recommend against low-flying, fast, supersonic aircraft. Actually, one more time here. And nothing. All right, let's go ahead and try the time fuse fragmentation. All right, so same thing. Go ahead and lock them on and try this. Oh yeah, that just, dude, that feels so much better too. It really does. Here's the helicopter. Try it again. I like the explosions too. Gotta draw a little bit of lead, but not terrible. Let's try this guy over here. I would show it to you guys, but just weird. There we go. Oh yeah, this, I mean, those are subsonic aircraft, so I can well imagine it's just gonna be like that the entire time. Let's try this guy flying away from us. Oh yeah, honestly, I would recommend these rounds over the ahead, but really it comes down to what you guys would prefer. This might just be my go-to. However, let's try this. Refused one. Oh. God. If there were infantry below that, that would be a yikes. Is it still set? Yeah, I gotta figure out how to disable that. That, right, just imagine. Who needs a smoke screen when you have that? Okay, so let's go over into the a bot lobby and see how this how the APFSDS plays. So I'm taking a look at the slat armor on this, and if you notice, there's like dings and dents all over it, like you would find it IRL. It's not just uniform, right? However, we're facing bots, obviously, which means you're not going to be running up like this. Ooh, an Abrams? Yes, I'll see how this fares against it. And of course, we broke the turret basket on it. I want to see if I can kill it from the front. Right? I would say about right here on the neck, right? There we go. Ariete is not going to stand a chance. There's a Sabra, he's done. That, yeah, I know. Oh, like this, for example, right? You would go right for the lower plate. Instant, just death. Chally, no chance. This guy, ammo, already know that. More of them, leopards, blah, blah, blah. Adding your games are not like these, for real. T9120. Do bot vehicles blow up easier than standard ones? I feel like they kind of do, to be honest. Oh, and I'm out of ammo. Here's the downside about this particular vehicle is, one, we didn't use the spike, we should have. Ammunition stowage is going to take a minute to replenish, and we're gonna lose this little fight right here, but you know what? I think IRL or in-game, 9 kills would be pretty okay. Let's reset. So I fired a few off, and there's the replenishment. Actually, it's not terrible. I feel like it could be a lot worse, and I hope it doesn't become worse. But that's all right. Oh, like it was a bit slower early on. The worst part about these spikes is you have to be at a distance to use them properly. So, wow, it actually did its job. I mean, again, it's against bots, but at least it did its job. There we go. I'm trying to find some targets to hit at a distance. Merkava's easy vehicle you'll be running into for sure. But as you can see, it's not really going to be very viable to kill Merkava like this. Yeah, at distance. I mean, I'm sure you can make it work, but I really wouldn't recommend it. Ooh, Abrams at a distance. This, I already know how to kill a BMP-2. That's not going to be terribly difficult. Let me see about that Abrams at this distance. Only 7 rounds left in the stowage. All right, here. Okay, so sniping at a distance, like at a good distance, probably not going to be ideal for this type of vehicle, which is where the spike comes in. Kill it. Cool. Yeah, so I hope this gives you guys, I'm sorry, English is hard apparently, an idea of how this round is going to be playing in the live server. Now, keep in mind, you're really going to know how to, you're going to have to figure out how to put your shots, because as you can see right there, full ammo, easy to kill for the most part. You're going to want to be careful using this, and definitely use it as a flank and spank without the slat armor. So there's one more thing I got to show you before we jump into the final thoughts, and that is the camo patterns on this thing. I know you want to see them. We have Deforming, obviously, which is the one you've seen already. Modern Desert, which looks really good, in my opinion. Even if it's a little scuffed, they both look really good. Then we have Winter Deforming. 3-tone camo, which is usually my go-to. I enjoy these, but I would probably make them a little bit more gritty so you blend in better. 4-rad, which is pretty. I don't like this camo at all, but to each their own. Unicolor Winter, Basic Desert, Tricolor Camo, Bicolor, and Bicolor Deserts, which I would not really recommend this too much. Maybe in the map we were playing, sure, but realistically, no. But this is likely going to be my go-to for pretty much every single scenario that we have in War Thunder, but again, to each their own. Now, final thoughts on this thing. Is it going to be a menace? I think so. In fact, I might make this my first vehicle that I cover in the next major updates, but I can see this being an absolute freaking menace to the enemy team if you know how to play it right. If you understand proper map positioning and you're very careful with your shot placement against everything, you should be able to use this to really good effect. However, we won't know until we get into the main game, in which case I'm gonna take off the slat armor, but we'll do that in the main server itself. However, I want to know what you guys think about the Jaguar. Are you going to get this? Do you want it? Or do you not want it? Do you not care about it? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, if there's something wrong with it, let Gaijin know and they will likely fix it. I say likely kind of loosely, but you never know. They might just do it. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this quick little overview. This will probably be my last one until the update drops this coming Tuesday, I think. So keep an eye out for those notifications. And don't forget my live streams on Twitch, 3% discount link. You know the whole deal behind it. But as always, I will see you guys on the next one.